Hey everyone, welcome to my show, A Taste with Tamara Lee. I am your host, Tamara Lee. I am a 52-year-old model, actress, and content creator, but I love to cook. And I love to create recipes that are healthy, nutritious, delicious, easy to make, and easy on the pocketbook. Are you ready? Let's get cooking. On today's episode, we are combining two of my absolute favorite flavors as somebody who has a sweet tooth: peanut butter and chocolate. And today we're going to be making some higher protein oatmeal, peanut butter, chocolate chip cookies. Are you ready to go? Let's get cooking. 1.5 cups of rolled oats, 2 eggs, 1 cup of peanut butter, third of a cup of maple syrup and sugar-free syrup, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half of a teaspoon of sea salt, 2/3 of a cup of chocolate chips. Well, on today's episode, we are going to be making some oatmeal peanut butter chocolate chip cookies. The healthier way, made a few little adjustments to my traditional recipe to make it a little bit more nutrient dense, and you won't feel so bad about snacking on these. These are also gluten-free because we're making them with rolled oats, and we're also using sugar-free chocolate chips and also all natural peanut butter. So ready to go. Donte, do you like sweets? I remember you got a sweet tooth?
I have a huge sweet tooth.
All right, so I think that this one is going to be also for you because I know it's going to be for me. Let's get going. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take 2 eggs and we are going to crack them into our bowl.
You're not going to throw the eggs in their hole?
No, we're not going to throw the eggs in their hole. So 2 eggs, and take our old, like, look at how old this is, handy dandy mixer, and just mix this up. This is all done by hand too, folks. Like, there's no fancy equipment needed for here at all. There's also another thing to notice in this recipe. There is no traditional fats in here either. So we're gonna whisk this together. Want to beat the eggs really well. And then we're gonna add some peanut butter. Again, I like to use all natural peanut butter because there's literally 2 ingredients in here: peanuts and a little bit of salt. And one of the great things about this, as opposed to just a sugar-free recipe, a sugar-free peanut butter, is that even though there's more fat in here, this is actually good fats for you. Sometimes the sugar-free options are not great for your health, so keep that in mind. So we're gonna literally pour our peanut butter in here, 1 cup of this peanutty goodness in here. Now, who doesn't love the combination of peanut butter and chocolate? I know I do. Put that in here. And now we are going to add one of my favorite sweeteners, honey. So we're gonna take a combination. I'm gonna use a combination of raw honey and sugar-free syrup. So this is just gonna save a little bit on the calories. We're gonna do 1/3 of a cup. Honey doesn't want to come out. Give it a good little shake, shake. And we're gonna squeeze that. We're gonna use all of our mussels today. All of the mussels. Honey is a really great natural sweetener. Really good for you, especially the raw honey. Make sure you get the raw honey. We're going to put that in here and pour that in here. Going to get all the wet ingredients together before we add the dry. Again, we're just going to mix this together, blend it up nice and well. Give it a whirl. Like I said, you don't need a blender for this. Just a little bit of a whisk. Even a measuring spoon or a measuring spoon would be fine with this too. So now this is getting nice and thick here. We've got our eggs incorporated in there with our syrups and with our peanut butter, and the smell of peanut butter. Oh, it's so delicious.
Smells
So delicious. And now we don't even have to put our dry ingredients into a separate bowl. We're actually going to do it right in this in our mixing pan right here. So we're going to take some rolled oats, and I use organic oatmeal. So make sure, folks, that when you're picking your oatmeal, do your research and about oatmeal. All natural organic oatmeal is the way to go. This here is a superfood. I use this in so much. So we're going to use a cup and a half of rolled oats, half and one, and then another half. And to that, we're going to add a quarter of a teaspoon of baking soda. And to preserve freshness for mine, I like to take my baking soda and just put it in a little airtight container. Put that in there. And then we are going to add, we didn't need that fork anyway, we're going to add about a half of a teaspoon of salt. And again, with salt and spices, I generally measure with love. So we're going to put this in here. Give that a nice little bit of flavor. And then one of my favorite spices, cinnamon. So many health benefits of cinnamon. I add this to my coffee. I add this to yogurt. I add it to cottage cheese, and I especially love it in baking. And again, I measure my cinnamon with love. So we're going to just take the thing off. You're going to use about maybe a generous teaspoon of cinnamon in there. Going to mix this. We're just going to fold it together. We don't need to over mix it. Put that all together. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That smells so good.
It smells amazing.
What a good combination. Peanut butter and the sweetness of the honey and some rolled oats and cinnamon. And then, of course, we can't have an oatmeal peanut butter chocolate chip cookie without some
Chocolate chip.
chocolate chips. And of course, I always measure with love, especially when you're talking about chocolate. So we're going to use about 2/3 of a cup of, these are sugar-free chocolate chips. You can use regular chocolate chips if you'd like as well. And also another great option is mini chocolate chips. You kind of get a little more bang for your buck with those, a little smaller ones in there. So again, we're just measuring with love, but we're going to put about 2/3 of a cup of chocolate chips in here. Again, if chocolate chips aren't your flavor, you can certainly substitute and put in raisins. You can do nuts in here, almonds, walnuts, pecans. Add a little bit of healthy fats. You can also add flax seeds. You can add chia seeds. The world is your oyster when you're flavoring your cookies. All right. Now that dough is nice together. It's a nice sticky dough. And now it is time to put this onto our cookie sheet. All right, so we have our cookie dough ready to go here, and we're going to get ready to bake this. So we're going to take, we've got our cookie sheet here, and we are going to take parchment paper. Now you can use regular parchment paper. I actually really like these sheets, parchment sheets, and of course, one of Tamara's tricks to get your parchment paper to lay flat. Scrunch it up, scrunch it up, and it will lay mostly flat on here. Now this dough is really wet and sticky. It's not something that you could probably use with your hands. So we've got a couple of spoons here, and we're going to just drop them onto our cookie sheet. Now here's where you can kind of get a little bit creative as well, is depending on you can make these large cookies, you can make them smaller cookies, and your baking time will depend. If you're going to bake them, put them a little bit larger, you're going to want to add a few minutes onto your cooking time. If you want to make them smaller, then you're going to want to decrease your baking time a little bit. I've already got my oven preheated to 350 degrees. So we're going to make these, we're going to go right in between the two, and we're going to make these kind of like medium-sized cookies. Medium size work, Donte, you think?
Yeah, that works. That works for sure.
And drop them down. We're going to leave a fairly good space in between them. Nobody's got time in their life for a small chocolate chip cookie,
Absolutely not.
especially when there's peanut butter involved. And we're probably going to spread these across 2 cookie sheets. And we're going to get 6 on a tray. All right. And we're going to get our first tray into the oven. Let's get these in there. Look how beautiful they look. Mm-mm-mm. We're going to put these in here. And we're going to bake those for about 10 minutes. All right, so our cookies have been baking for 11 minutes now, and it is time to take them out of the oven. Oh, yeah. And these are ready. Look at these.
It smells so good.
Oh my gosh. We're going to let these cool for 5 minutes, as much as I don't want to, but we have to let them cool for about 5 minutes. And then it is time for Tamara's favorite part of the recipe, taste test time. All right, so it was really hard for me to wait, but our cookies have cooled for 10 minutes. And I'm like so ready. I'm ready to bite into these. Cheers. Oh my goodness, yes. If you have a sweet tooth like me, these are going to hit the mark for you. Peanut butter, chocolate, delicious. A little hint of cinnamon. Oh man, this is a perfect afternoon snack. I just need a coffee now. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of A Taste with Tamara Lee. And if you are enjoying me and my videos, please make sure you like, subscribe, follow. And until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.